Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. You know what today is?
What is today, John?
Oh, I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. How's that sound? Saturday is August the 1st. It's International Mahong Day. It's National Raspberry Cream Pie Day, which sounds interesting. National Girlfriends Day. National Minority Donor Awareness Day. National Respect for Parents Day. National Disc Golf Day. You ever do that? Disc golf?
I've not.
I tried it once and I was not good. National Jamaican Patty Day, National Mustard Day, and it's Mead Day on Saturday. Sunday, the 2nd of August, National Coloring Book Day, National Ice Cream Sandwich Day, American Family Day, National Friendship Day, and National Sisters Day. A lot of stuff going on this weekend. Busy weekend. And I have a guest joining me, Kendra Atleework. I don't know if I'm saying that. Atleework. There we go. Author of Miracle Country. It's a memoir about she lived in the Midwest and then moved to a ski region in California. And it sounds pretty fascinating. Going to chat with her all about it in a bit.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. A new survey found that citizens around the world are losing confidence in their government's handling of the coronavirus all over the world. So it's not just one country. You would think that, some countries are all pointing at one country or this country, but people all over are going, okay, I think the government's not doing a great job on this. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I'll just move on. I have some things that I was going to say, but I'm going to just be nice because then I'll upset somebody, and we don't do that here. This is a happy place. Thanks for listening to Surveys and Studies and Such, brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate, and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. A Florida woman told the sheriff deputies that she forgot about the drug pipe, and the X-ray apparently determined that she had one. We'll just call it it was her tailpipe. She had it stuffed somewhere.
Oh, nice.
Uh-huh. 34-year-old lady with an apparent crack pipe sequestered in her hindquarters. That's what I'm reading word for word here. Happened on June the 12th. Investigators said that she was an impaired driver, slouched over the steering wheel of a Toyota, on her foot on the brake. A person in the vehicle said there were about 20 minutes that she was stuck there. After participating in a field sobriety test, they arrested her on DUI charges when she was going into jail. They said, hey, you got something going on down here. She's like, no, I got nothing. And the X-ray showed it was a crack pipe, like I said, sequestered in her hindquarters. In addition to DUI charges, she's also arrested on possession of drug paraphernalia and introduction of contraband into a detention facility. So all of that stuff, not good. It's what happens when your brain is on drugs. Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Elon Musk jokingly challenged Johnny Depp to a cage match after the actor accused him of having an affair with Amber Heard. Johnny once threatened to cut off Elon's junk for hooking up with Amber, according to the story. Next story, Amber Heard claims Johnny Depp once hurled 30 liquor bottles at her during an argument. 30?
Those two had a very toxic relationship.
Yes. And our final story, Amber Heard testifies that Johnny Depp once vandalized a painting given to her by one of her girlfriends. So, why did it take so long for them to break up?
Right, they probably should have never even been together.
This sounds to me like they really, really shouldn't have. So, what a bizarre, just everything about this. And it's like every story that keeps popping up. Like, I decided I was going to just save them all, get them all in one day. But there's several that I didn't read that are even worse than these. Thanks for listening to Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Now your scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of InsuranceChicken.com. Kanye West was treated for anxiety at a Wyoming hospital last week after publicly apologizing to Kim Kardashian on Twitter. That's his wife, by the way. So he was treated for anxiety, had a lot of stuff going on. It says here Kanye West was seen shopping for kids' clothes at a Walmart in Wyoming with freshly dyed red hair. So I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on there either.
I don't know. Cybersecurity experts believe a gang of Russian hackers crippled the fitness tracking services on Garmin's smartwatches. So if you have a smartwatch and you're using that like for fitness tracking and you're going, boy, I thought I walked more than 2 inches today. Well, maybe you did. So for those of you who are not doing well on your diet, blame it on Russian hackers. It's probably what really happened. Come on, Charlie. You said you were going to lose 5 pounds this week. Well, I was going to. I probably did. Russian hackers hacked into my watch. I'm sure that's what it is. Portland protester known as Naked Athena. Have you seen this at all?
I don't think so.
She had a face-off with cops in the nude. In an interview, she said that it was an off-the-cuff decision that she did not plan for. So she was nude, fighting with police, and she didn't plan that? Really? Does anybody ever plan that? I don't think they do. 17 Jersey Shore lifeguards tested positive for coronavirus after attending a party at Surf City. So that's kind of scary. Group of pranksters left a set of knives and a chainsaw, such a weird story, for a group of baboons who've been attacking cars at Manchester Safari. One of the baboons was also seen later smoking a cigarette. So a group of baboons have knives and a chainsaw. So whoever had that for August, well, put that on your Corona bingo card.
I actually saw the pictures of that. It was really kind of funny.
But don't do that. It's a bad idea. I think of like 4 movies that I can think of right now that tell me that's a bad idea. Planet of the, never mind. Vladimir Putin announced that the Russian Navy will soon be equipped with hypersonic nuclear weapons and hypersonic underwater drones.
Yikes.
They're expected to be ready in September. So, for those of you working on your bingo cards for September, hypersonic underwater drones and hypersonic nuclear weapons. That's kind of scary.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. It just sounds scary.
It does sound scary.
And Google, oh no, Heidi's going to need one. Google has developed a new smart tattoo. It'll work like a touch screen. It's the next generation of wearable technology. You'll be able to get a tattoo, and you'll be able to touch it and make different things happen, like on your phone.
I definitely will not be getting that.
No. I'm sure you'd get one. And one final story here. A new book claims Prince William warned Prince Harry to move slowly into his relationship with Meghan Markle because he, quote, had bad feelings about her, end quote. So there you go.
And how did that turn out?
She was referred to in the story of the Yoko owner of the royal family, by the way.
Yeah.
Which I think that's very interesting. I don't know what's going on. We'll move on. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're talking with Kendra Atleework right now. She's the author of a book called Miracle Country, a memoir, and we've got her on the line. How you doing, Kendra?
I'm great.
Now, let's talk a little bit about this book. Tell me, first of all, a little bit about your background. What were you doing before the book came up here?
Before the book came up, I was, I've been working on the book for the last 6 years, so I was pretty much working on this book. I grew up in California, but I wrote most of this book while living in Minnesota, actually, and going to grad school at the University of Minnesota over there. So I was learning to deal with Minnesota winters, I would say, before this book.
Which is a lot different than California winters, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I'm live in the mountains, so we do get snow and blizzards, and a lot of that appears in Miracle Country. We have a pretty wild climate up here in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountains, but nothing compared to the cold of Minneapolis.
So let's talk about a little snapshot of Miracle Country. Where is Miracle Country when you're talking about it in this book? And it's a memoir. Is it your memoir?
It's my memoir, but it's kind of a different kind of memoir. It covers a lot of the history of my part of California and California and the West in general, including water infrastructure, and kind of the way that people have come to live here as they do. So it tells a story of me leaving my home, which is this tiny little mountain town, kind of in the high desert in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Really, we're basically Western Nevada. We're in the high desert of California. And so Miracle Country tells the story of me growing up in this tiny little strange town. And it was kind of an idyllic childhood filled with a lot of adventures in nature. And my dad was a hot air balloon pilot. And then when I was 16, my mom died, and my family kind of fell apart, and I kind of fled home, and I left it behind. And then while I was gone for about a decade, I started, out of homesickness, learning about the place I left behind. And so Miracle Country follows the story of me learning about the history and landscape of the place where I'd come from, including its water relationship to Los Angeles. Los Angeles gets its water, a significant portion of its water from my area, even though we're 230 miles apart and has for over 100 years. So learning more about that controversial history was part of it, and also kind of making the decision to come home despite the fact that I was moving back to a place frequently visited by wildfire and drought and a lot of other peril. I kind of made the choice to move home. I live here now, and I kind of came back to live beside some of my hardest memories, but also a landscape that was just a really big part of me.
And in the book Miracle Country, we're going to learn all kinds of interesting things, it sounds like, but this is your life. You lived this.
Yeah, yep, this is pretty much my life up until this point, but I hope that people who, anyone can read this book and sort of have new ways to reflect on the places that shape us in our homes.
So for people listening, maybe give us a little glimpse of this. Do you think if you hadn't left Miracle Country and gone to Minnesota for a while, do you think this book would have been different? Once you left home, did you have like a different appreciation for home?
Yeah, I absolutely had to leave home to write this book. It was sort of the flight, the departure and return that shaped the book and also shaped my relationship with this place. So I moved to Los Angeles first, and I went to college in Los Angeles, and I worked as a ticket seller in a historic haunted house in San Diego, and had kind of a bunch of interesting experiences with different aspects of the past and thinking about the past and how it lingers and history and how we project that forward onto the future. And then I moved to Minnesota to study writing in Minneapolis, and it was just so different. I was in Minnesota in a polar vortex during the California drought, while my home neighborhood was actually burning down in a freak winter wildfire caused by climate change and the drought. So that was really a contrast that really gave me perspective to write about the place I'd left behind.
If people listening would like to find a copy of Miracle Country, where do we find this?
You can find it any place books are sold. It's great to support your local indie bookstore if you've got one and get it from them.
That's my favorite as well. I wish I could put a link to each and every one of those, but I can't. So I'll throw a link to it so you'll be able to find it online. But I do encourage people to buy local as much as possible. Kendra, thank you so much for taking the time to chat.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
And again, the book is called Miracle Country. We'll throw a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
The old way of living with diabetes is a pain. The new way is with a continuous glucose monitor. You simply apply a discreet, easy-to-use sensor on your body. If you test your blood sugar at least 4 times per day and inject insulin at least 3 times per day or use an insulin pump and have private insurance or Medicare, you might be eligible for a CGM with little or no cost to you. Call now and say goodbye to finger pricks.
800-659-7805. That's 800-659-7805.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Flowers like Viagra. It says if you put some Viagra in a vase, it will make the flowers stand up straight for about a week longer than they normally would. So if they usually would wilt in like a week, then they wouldn't wilt for 2 weeks, according to a study conducted by Israeli and Australian researchers who I think we're in the studio, like in the lab working on something, and somebody walked in and they said, what are you doing in here with that stuff? Oh, we're putting in the flowers. We're going to see what it does in that. That's what it is. Have no idea. Why would you even think to do a study like that?
Well, it's interesting.
It is. I remember one time.
And it makes sense.
I remember as a kid taking a stick of celery, cutting the thing off and sticking it in a piece of, in a glass, a glass with water and food coloring, and then like the lines in the celery all got in line.
I wondered where you were going with this. I thought maybe you were doing your own little Viagra experiment.
When I was a kid, that stuff didn't even exist. So no.
That's why I'm wondering. I was like, where are we going with this?
Just move on.
Completely
You're listening
different topic.
to today's fun fact. If you have a credit card, our friends at BetterCreditCards.com would like to make sure it's the best credit card for you. Take a few minutes to look at your current interest rate and then see what you get for points and perks. Then go to BetterCreditCards.com to see if they can help you find a better credit card. This will literally cost you nothing, and it could help you save money by getting a better credit card. Even if you don't have a credit card right now, you can check it out too at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com. Now, a news headline from somewhere in this world, Dateline Thailand. Have we been to Thailand before for our stories?
I think we have.
Have we? Okay, it's starting to sound familiar now. Dateline Thailand. A herd of macaws, that's monkeys, have taken over the town of Lopburi, Thailand, forcing local owners to close a barbershop, a movie theater, and a cell phone store.
I watched this.
A herd of 8,400 monkeys were attacking locals, stealing food, and even robbing tourists of their purses. 8,400 monkeys.
The tourism is down, so they're not getting fed by tourists. So now they've come into town.
Exactly. Tourists used to throw food out for them, and they're like, well, you bring no food to me, we'll come get it.
We'll come get it.
So, 8,400.
Hilarious.
Can you even imagine 8,400 monkeys coming to town? Whoa, that's not good. Sounds like a movie in the making right there. This is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
If you take Viagra or Cialis, call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Call 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. 800-214-7977. Again, that's 800-214-7977.
Time now for some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. The Nature Boy has a latte explaining to do. Okay,
I'm sure that's funny. I don't know why.
And that's the thing. These headlines don't mean anything till you hear the story. So remember that for a minute. You're going to laugh.
I will laugh later.
So the Nature Boy, wrestling legend Ric Flair, has urged his followers on social media to stop the spread of coronavirus. And he was at Starbucks then without a mask right after that. His wife has coronavirus right now. He is at high risk of having it. And then he was out in public without a mask, and somebody snapped a photo and posted it online. And they're going, dude, you just posted a thing saying don't do this, and then you did it. And he's going, oh, my wife does have the virus, but we live in a 5,000 square foot home, and I live in the basement, and she lives upstairs on the third floor. And he's trying to come up with an excuse as to why. So he has a latte of explaining to do.
Oh.
Still kind of dumb. This is today's weird news. Time now for your moment of duh, brought to you by InsuranceChicken.com. Thousands of people attended a rave at a former Royal Air Force station. It says a disused. Does that mean it's like closed down?
Apparently.
In the UK, police struggled to shut it down. Hundreds of people gathered Saturday at the Chammy Down airfield, or Charmy Down, whatever it is, 3 miles outside of Bath, England. 3,000 people were in attendance at the height of the activity, according to the BBC. Hundreds still there early Sunday morning. Photos and video on Twitter show partiers seemingly ignoring any safety regulations, including a lack of facial masks and social distancing. People as far away as Bristol, 8 miles away from the airfield, said they could hear the ridiculously loud bass line. People living nearby took to social media to complain about this throughout Saturday night and into Sunday about the noise and the police response. So they were upset that it was noisy. Then they were upset that the police responded, or that they didn't respond quick enough.
They didn't respond properly.
I don't know what happened. All I know is altogether that
people are just ready to be done with this, and they're not going to put up with it forever.
Yeah.
I mean,
but don't do it that way. That's a bad idea. It's today's moment of duh. Nobody wants to buy car insurance. It's not a fun thing to think about, but it's something you need if you want to drive your car. So even if you don't want to buy insurance, you probably have to get it from someone. So why not buy it from InsuranceChicken.com? Okay, I'll admit, our website name is dumb. InsuranceChicken.com. Yeah, our marketing department is not that great. But our selection of insurance options is amazing. See if we can save you money each month on our dumb website, InsuranceChicken.com. That's InsuranceChicken.com. Time now for Fake News or Florida. Heidi, tell me, is this a true story from the great state of Florida, or is it fake news made up to trick you and amuse me? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Oh, by the way, I had somebody message me and say, you should let Heidi do a story and see if you can get it right. Because, you know, they don't think. Do you think that's a good idea?
I don't care. I can do one.
Here's my fear. You don't know Heidi, and I don't know if I want her coming up with stuff. All right, here's the news. Fake news or Florida?
Okay.
A dog walker in Fort Myers was arrested for drug possession after he was seen walking a cat on a leash. Fake news or Florida?
Fake news.
It is fake news. I didn't make that one up, though. I thought it was pretty good. How did you know that?
That's
You're so good at this.
Clearly fake news. That's ridiculous.
All right. Well, see. You come up with some stories, whether they're true or fake, and maybe we'll let you turn the tables.
Okay.
We'll keep waiting until you do this, and she'll never do it. This has been Fake News or Florida on The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way courtesy of BetterCreditCards.com. Now, this is kind of an update on a story that we shared earlier, and the thing that was neat is this story involved Heidi's heartthrob, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, love him.
He's a pretty cool dude.
He really is. He's hilarious.
There's been a really nice update to this story, so take a listen. Woman reunited with stolen teddy bear containing her mother's voice.
Yay.
She'd lost her mother.
Yeah, we just talked about
Woman
this.
of Vancouver has now been reunited with a stolen teddy bear that contained a sentimental message. It was the voice of her mother who was recently passed. She was moving to Vancouver when a bag full of personal items were stolen outside of the moving truck. But a bear, which was irreplaceable to her, was the one thing she really wanted back. Many other things in there, but this thing,
the bear,
had a recording
you can't
of her
replace
mother's
that.
voice. She died last year from cancer. At hospice, her voice was very different, much softer, not the mom I grew up with. The bear is the last memory I have of her speaking in her normal voice. News of the stolen bear went viral, even got the attention of superhero Ryan Reynolds. He's the Green Lantern, and he's also Deadpool.
I love Deadpool.
He's a naughty superhero. He offered a $5,000 reward for the bear's return. He retweeted it, and 2 men found the bear and returned it to the young lady. They said they took the stuffed animal from a man who stole the bag. She described the bear as being in perfect condition and smelling and feeling great. Well, that's good. The Good Samaritans said they saw the security footage and had been posted online, recognized the person taking the backpack, and they confronted him. She says when she gets married next summer, she said the bear will have a special seat where her mom would have been.
Aww.
So, really cool. And you should see how happy she is to have this bear back. It is really kind of a neat thing. I've got a link to that in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.